I want to teach you some self-defense moves that have saved my life on multiple occasions. I even got attacked the other day. I've got a little knife mark on my throat. We chillin'. So they come up behind you, grab you by the waist or the throat, whatever. If you can, sweep your leg right under one of theirs. You headbutt backwards, and then you just full dead weight backwards. Just all of your weight gone. At that point, you're probably gonna be able to get up and run away. And if you can't, you just elbow them swiftly in the face and you run.
The more you have in your brain, the less likely it is going to work in a real fight. So a common thing you'll often see on YouTube is that people will say that if someone does A, you do B. People always say, yeah, but you grab him back, you pull your arm back, you hit him, you'll block a certain way, and you'll hit him, strike him, move on him, and so on. What people are assuming is that attacks are going to come in a very clean, clinical way that you can plan for. You should never, ever, ever go into a situation where you're going to assume the person's going to do X, Y, Z. I throw a punch, he blocks it, I pull a knife and then I start stabbing at him and slashing and hacking at him. Or I pull a knife, you look at that, bang, and I punch him. If you try to memorize techniques, you will never remember them when the adrenaline's on, the action's on, the fight's on, and the variables change from weapons to hands to anything to cars to multiple assailants. You cannot prepare or plan for it all. What you can do though is start to develop some really simple self-defense skills that will improve your awareness and your ability to defend yourself. So keep watching.
Coming at you from the front, grab them like that.
Have a strategy to fight, not a plan. If I have a strategy, the strategy is flexible. I can adapt the strategy according to the types of people, according to the variables I've got. The strategies are position, control of space, efficiency of movement. And those principles should always be the guidelines of our defense. First of all, observation skills. Good situational awareness. Be aware of the bad guy being in your aura in the first place. Look at them, pay attention to their hands. As long as I can see his hands, I'm happy. If I can't see his hands, I'm really unhappy. Once I've identified a threat and there is a problem, I need to be in the right position. And whether that's distance or location, okay, I'd either be further away from the person to control the distance, or I would be in close to control the distance, but never in the middle. I want to be towards the dominant side so I can smother it. But then what is the strategy for dealing with punches? Circles and lines are by far the easiest, simplistic way of teaching you how to deal with attacks and movement. A straight punch will come in, boom, and as I've said before, you want to move on the outside of the straight punch. And if a round punch comes in, boom, you want to move to the inside of it. That's one strategy. It's not memorizing techniques. So we try to move in a tight, efficient way, and that's a good way of not planning your self-defense.
And always remember, if they can't see, they can't fight. If they can't breathe, they can't fight.
The next stage, which is not a plan, it is basically an adaptation of what's happening, is I have to have a strategy of defense. If I have his arms, and I have control of his arms, then it's really difficult for him to punch me, but most importantly, for him to draw a weapon, because I know where his arms are. So if I can control arms, I can control his ability to attack me. You know, dealing with weapons, the only time you can deal with a weapon, realistically, is when he draws the weapon. If he already has the weapon out, then you're as good as dead. It's a dangerous thing to try to disarm someone with a weapon pointed at you. So my primary strategy is often to get on the arm, to control the arm, to control the space. Yes, it's difficult and it can be dangerous because people can overpower you, they can slam you, they can pick you up, they can grapple with you. But the choice is that you give them space to be able to weaponize and attack you. So very often the plans that we put in place aren't sustainable because the reality of the situation is that we don't necessarily always prepare for situations where we are going to be at a disadvantage. And the last and the most important thing to explain and to put across is that when people attack you, and they actually do attack you with punches, it will be bang from a position that you don't see. It will be from a position of weakness. So planning for an attack, planning for self-defense is unrealistic in the reality of the real world. Thanks for watching.
Stay safe out there.